Hey, if you haven't gone and downloaded my Plan Your Success guidebook and worksheet, you are missing out. If you want to make 2025 a year that will blow your own mind, this planner will help you like no other planner. Go through the process, go through all the steps, and I guarantee you it will be a year you won't forget. Can you believe we are almost to 2025? If you are listening to this after the release date, you are in 2025. If you are here, then you are most likely someone like me who is constantly working on your self-esteem and your confidence for whatever reason. And let me just tell you this, every single person alive, every person you come encounter with, they are also constantly working on their confidence. Things impact our confidence on a daily basis. We are always having to kind of revamp our confidence for a variety of reasons. So please, please, please do not shame yourself. Do not think that there is something wrong with you. This is part of the human experience. But there are ways that you can increase your confidence, become a better version of yourself if you want to, and it isn't that hard. It just takes a little effort. Today, we're just going to talk about a few easy methods that you can practice throughout the year that will help you become a better version of yourself, become better at building your confidence, and just be more comfortable in your own skin. Because let me tell you, if you haven't ever experienced that moment where you walk in a room and you feel a little off or maybe not like yourself, it is so uncomfortable, and it's something I really want to help people overcome. I want to help people become the person who they want to be, and it is a decision. It is a decision to practice and become a better version of yourself. Let's get started. Grab your pen and paper, like I always say, and let's get going. Welcome to the Crazy Confidence Coach podcast. I'm on a quest to help you find the most confident version of you. I help women become the most authentic version of themselves by helping them find clarity around who they are and who they want to be. My goal is to help women sift through all that noise that they have in their head about who they should be or who they shouldn't be and create a plan to be exactly who they want to be. You don't have to continue to live with anxiety, high stress, and overwhelm. You can little by little get back to a place of peace and live with more contentment than you ever thought possible. You don't have to merely survive day to day. There is a life waiting for you, thriving. Grab your coffee, your favorite colored pen, and a pad of paper because we're headed out to find your confidence today. The tips that we're talking about today are confidence building exercises or practices, if you will, that will help you build your confidence and be the best version of you throughout the year. The first practice that I think is most influential, or at least it is the one that gets you a lot of traction, that is simple awareness. Awareness of how you speak about yourself and how you speak about other people, but just a general awareness about the things that come out of your mouth, the statements that you make about yourself, especially any statements that are affirmative or factual sounding to you. Because things that we say, we think they are factual, but oftentimes they are not. So some key phrases to be aware of or catch when you are speaking about yourself. I am. I never. I always. I'm not good at. I'm really good at. I'm never been able to do that. Or I'm not able to do that. Or those statements in those ways are very telling about what you think about yourself. And your thoughts create your reality, of course. And even the good stuff that you say about yourself can be not true. So just be more aware of how you're speaking about yourself, the statements you make, especially affirmative statements or things that you believe that are true about you. Question them. Get curious. Why do you believe the things that you believe? Because oftentimes they are borrowed beliefs from our parents, teachers, or people in our lives, and they're not even factual. So question it. That is the first thing that I believe is very influential when it comes to building your confidence and being more confident. It's getting to the nitty-gritty of why you believe the way you do and what you actually believe. And most of the time, we're just simply not aware of it. So start out with awareness, and that is something that needs to stay with you ongoing throughout the year. Then the second thing I think is pretty important to practice self-care. And when I say self-care, there are so many, you must do self-care in a certain way. But for those of us who struggle with confidence, self-care is about getting grounded with yourself. And it can be getting a massage. It can be reading a book. It can be exercising. It can be getting good sleep. It can be all kinds of basic things that you may or may not be withholding from yourself. And oftentimes, if you are someone who is not allowing yourself self-care time, it's tied to your worthiness or what you believe that you're worthy of. When I find a client who has come to me and they are not willing to have a self-care routine in their life, it's a big flag for me that they believe they're not worthy of taking time to take care of themselves. Self-care is a huge part of being a confident version of you. The third thing that we'll talk about today is evaluating and updating boundaries in your life. This is a big one. And what do I mean by boundaries? Boundaries are how you interact with your friends. If you have a friend who you're always the one who calls to schedule lunch, or you're always the one who is the giver, you might want to evaluate. Is that something that you really want to continue to do? You can create boundaries around how you're interacting with others, whether it's friendships, relationships, yourself, and all the people that you interact with at work or even at church or any person that you might interact with. Creating boundaries that are protective of your belief systems, how you want to function in the world. When it comes to boundaries, it's extremely important to make sure that you're protecting yourself. And when I say protecting, I'm not talking about a physical protection, although that may need to be created as well, a boundary from that standpoint. But boundaries are created to preserve your energy, your mindset, your time, all kinds of things that you need to do in your life. So evaluating how you interact with the world and any boundaries that you might need to update or change in your life. Then I want you to consider having more physical movement in your life. Now, this can kind of go to that self-care routine, but I made it a separate line item or a separate method of being more confident because movement specifically is something that will actually change the function of your brain and how you relate to the world. Exercise, actually walking, running, swimming, forest bathing, jumping on a trampoline, doing a shake plate, all of those things will actually help your mind be healthier and happier, which of course increases your confidence. And when you move more, you likely have a stronger body, and that stronger body correlates to a stronger mind, which also correlates to confidence. So getting more movement in 2025 will help you build and increase your confidence. Then I want you to go out and accomplish something. Now, this can be a daily thing that you make sure that you have one or two top priorities that you get done each day, that you check off that box. Or it could be a goal. Like for me this year, my husband and I are going to start playing pickleball. Well, I have no idea how to play, but I wanted to make that a goal. One, to be more active and get more movement in my life, but also just wanted something to challenge my mind and my body. That will be something that I will accomplish, playing more pickleball and learning the game, that sort of thing. It could also just be something as simple as accomplishing a certain goal with work. For me this year, I want to get more reviews on my podcast. I want to work with more clients this year. I want to post and get my course out there, at least one of the 2 courses I have that I'm working on. I want to get it out there. All of those things are accomplishments that I want to have for the year, but each time I have accomplishment, that builds my confidence. Make sure that you're constantly challenging yourself in some way and accomplishing things to help build your confidence in yourself that you can indeed set goals and you can accomplish those goals or just have accomplishment in general. And let me tell you, when I was super struggling mentally and I was depressed, my accomplishment for the day could have been getting up to take a shower, and that was the checkbox for the entire day. Do not compare your accomplishment list with anyone else's. You create it based on where you are and what you need to do. Just make sure that accomplishment is in your vocabulary and you're constantly working on it to make sure that you are aware of and building your confidence in that way. Then I want you to refrain from comparison. This is something that it's an interesting concept. I listened to a podcast a couple weeks ago and it really resonated with me, and it was talking about how we all compare in life. We just do, and it's true. We all have comparison, and there is some need for comparison because some of the things that we compare ourselves with, or reasons of like goal setting or understanding what is possible. From that standpoint, yes, you are always going to compare yourself to some level, but the piece of this that I want you to really be aware of is not comparing yourself from the standpoint of I should be a certain way, or I should be like that person, or they should be a certain way. From both angles, other people are in charge of their lives and you are in charge of your life, and you are both in different chapters in your book. And some people's first chapter comes at the end of the book, and some people's last chapter comes at the beginning of the book. It's just the way the world works. If you do anything this year to help yourself mentally and your mindset, practice comparison with compassion, not with judgment. If that makes any sense, that is the best way I can explain comparison and how it will best serve you as you move through the year in 2025. Then I want you to do something really fun. I want you to start celebrating wins, big and small. Now, you don't have to throw a party every time. You don't have to even tell anyone every time. But I have learned that I will celebrate things myself, even if I don't post them or even if I don't share them with anyone. I am celebrating things all the time. Matter of fact, last month, from November 15th to December 15th, I hit my first month of 1,000 downloads in one 30-day period. And I was super, super excited. I kept talking to my husband about it. I felt like it was really important for me to have growth with a podcast. And I just celebrated about it. I did not put it on the internet or really tell anybody but my husband, but it was something I was proud of and I did celebrate it. So find things that you can celebrate, big and small, because it does something to your brain. It helps your brain believe that you have capabilities. And you will continue each time you celebrate. It's reinforcing your brain to continue to want to do more. All of that's building your confidence ongoing. And that is the goal here, right? We want to build our confidence so we know we can do more and we can create goals for ourselves and we can be a better version of ourselves if we choose to be a better version of ourselves. Celebrate your big wins, celebrate your small wins, and make it part of your everyday experience. Then I want you to get really, really good at being uncomfortable. If you've listened to my other podcast episodes, you know that I'm always talking about being uncomfortable. And the reason I talk about being uncomfortable is I believe that being uncomfortable is literally one of the keys to the universe. If you learn how to be uncomfortable, if you learn what your body does, if you learn how you react mentally and physically and emotionally, and you master getting through that without bailing on whatever is happening, you will really and truly enhance your ability to be more confident and accomplish so much more. Typically, what happens with most of us, myself included, is that when we get uncomfortable, we kind of squirm away or we run away from whatever is happening. And truthfully, anything that is worth accomplishing, anything that you've never accomplished before, requires you to be uncomfortable. So if you learn, again, what does your body do? What does your mind do? How do your thoughts start racing? What do you normally think to yourself? I can't do this. I'm not going to do this. What happens to your body? Does your heart race? Do you start to sweat? Do you shut down? Do you get scared? What happens? And if you learn all of that about yourself and then you master getting through it, I guarantee you will be a completely different person at the end of 2025. So practice being uncomfortable. And if you want tips on how to do that, there's a few episodes that I have that I talk about that. But things like putting yourselves in an environment that you're not normally comfortable with, doing something that you're not comfortable with, like pickleball is something that's super uncomfortable with me right now for me. So I'm going to put myself in that position so I will learn how to work through it. Take a speaking class, take an art class that you don't know anything about art. Put yourself in uncomfortable situations and work through them and learn your responses and learn how to get through them. So here's the truth. Most times when you're uncomfortable, it will only take you a short time to feel all those feelings. And if you can manage to sit through them and breathe through them and make it through that, usually it's under 5 minutes that you have to be truly uncomfortable. And the quickest way to stop being uncomfortable is to get into action. So if you can combine understanding being uncomfortable, taking action, and moving through it, you will be a master at all things confidence by the end of the year. I promise. And then the last thing that I want to talk to you about, actually not the last thing, but close to the last thing, is learn something new. Every time you learn something new, you are working on those neurotransmitters in your brain and you are connecting different neurotransmitters. You are building your confidence. You are building your ability to have conversations with someone, and you will end up building relationships through that. Learning something new gives you a new way to connect not only with yourself, but with others. So if you want to build confidence, learn something new throughout the year. And then the one thing that I've kind of already talked about, but I really think is super important that ties into awareness is stick to the truth. We all have this habit of over sensationalizing. We have a habit of dramatizing. We have a habit of shaming and blaming. And the way the world works, especially now with Instagram and all the things, you never know what's true and what's not. But if you can learn to stick to the truth, one, you have less to deal with, right? You have less drama and all of that good stuff. But when you stop catastrophizing, I don't even know how to say that word, but when you stop generalizing everything and making everything so big and crazy and you just make it truthful, then all of a sudden it's less to deal with and you have more confidence because you know that you can make it through it and you know that you can do what you need to do to get to the other side. And there's no big drama, scary, hairy monster that's keeping you from going into doing what you need to do. It kind of, when it's coming to the truth, oftentimes it's just our brain not understanding something. So one big tip I can give you, when you find yourself really thinking something's overwhelming and crazy, just break it down to smaller pieces and see if that's more palatable. And when it comes to the truth, when you say, I can't do it, that's not the truth. Typically, you can do whatever it is that's on your mind. It is just a matter of breaking it down and understanding it in a way that you can do it. Just consider that every single person in the world, every single person was born not knowing how to walk, talk, or do most anything. And pretty much all of us can walk, talk, and do other things. If you are someone who has a handicap, that is different. I understand that. I have a brother who has Down syndrome. He can speak, but his speaking is challenged. Those exceptions are different, but for most people, you learn how to do things like walk and talk and ride bikes and all of that. And it was something you had to actually learn how to do. And before you did it, it was scary and it wasn't easy to do, but you learned how to do it. As you move on to 2025 and you move into the year, I am just here to tell you, whatever it is that you want to do, you can do it. This year is the year for you to do whatever it is that you're scared to do. You can do it. I promise you. And I am introducing a 3-month challenge. I am going to have a coaching challenge where it is a coaching mentorship where we go through whatever goal you have. If you have a business goal that you want to get a new job, if you have a fitness goal, whatever it is, I am opening up my coaching 12-week package to a challenge where you come to me with a specific thing that you want to get to in 3 months and we do it together. You will have coaching each week for an hour and then you have a touch points throughout the week where you can actually text or we can reach out and have ongoing coaching for the week. And that is going to be an extra offering I have with the challenge. With regular coaching, typically it's coaching once a week, and that is the coaching. For the challenge, if you sign up for the challenge, you will have not only coaching, but I will give you texting support throughout the week, up to an hour of coaching throughout the week where you can actually get additional coaching when things pop up. Think weight loss, think relationship enhancement, think a goal that you have in your life to maybe you're looking for another job, or maybe you're wanting to go into a course, or maybe you're wanting to learn pickleball. Whatever it is, I will include with the coaching a challenge that we start with this goal and then we reach that goal by the end of the 12 weeks. So I'm really excited about this. I really hope that you are like me and you're looking forward to 2025. 2025 is going to be an amazing year. There's so many great things that can happen this year. There's so much potential for you, for me, and I guarantee you, if you make the decision to move forward, to do something that you really want to do, you can do it. You just have to make the decision and you just have to make the commitment to do it and work a little bit on it. So, as you're going through the next year, let me review really quick. What you're going to do is you're going to go at 2025 with a lot of awareness. You're going to create some self-care routines so you know your worthiness. Each time you use self-care, you increase your self-worthiness. You're going to take the time to evaluate and update any boundaries that need to be reassessed. And then you are going to make this year a year of movement, being physically active. You're going to want to accomplish something. And I say at least a quarterly goal that you have that you can accomplish something. You're going to refrain from comparing to others, at least make sure that if you use any comparison that you're doing it in a way that it serves you and it serves the people around you. You're going to celebrate wins, big and small, and you're going to get really, really good at being uncomfortable. And then you are going to make a commitment to learn something new, and then you are going to stick to the truth. This is the year that the truth will prevail, and that will make your life easier, more efficient, more effective, and you ultimately will be the most confident version of you. And I cannot wait to see you in the 12-week challenge. Go to the website and sign up for the 12-week challenge. I know you will love it. I'm excited to do it with you because I have a few things I'm going to accomplish too in this next 12 weeks. So let's do it together and have a fabulous, fabulous week. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening in today. It was so much fun thinking about 2025. Don't forget to go download your guide, the Plan Your Success guide that is free and the best planner you will ever use. And if you are ready to knock this year out of the park, sign up for the 12-week challenge. Let's grab your greatest goal and get to it in 12 weeks. 1 hour of coaching each week, an additional hour of support through email and text will get you there. When you run into those things that are in your way or the mindset issues, we can work through them together and guarantee your success. 12 weeks, hit your goal, and that way you're ready for the second quarter to hit a next goal. Let's make 2025 count. Have a great week. Love you big.